Ever wished your Christmas decorations looked like they belong in a magazine without breaking the bank? I stumbled upon a ridiculously simple idea that saved me hundreds, and you don't need any fancy skills or expensive items to make it happen. Christmas decorations have a magical way of transforming any house into a warm, joyful home. For me, it's more than just the ornaments or lights. It's the cozy nights by the fire, the laughter of loved ones around the tree, and the pine-scented air that fills every corner. But I'll be honest, getting it right wasn't always easy. My first attempts were a mess: chaotic ribbons, mismatched ornaments, and no real plan. Over the years, I discovered how to decorate intentionally, blending modern trends with personal touches to create a space that feels uniquely mine. Today, I'll take you through my journey, sharing the wins, missteps, and one simple shift that made all the difference. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, working on a budget, or just looking for fresh inspiration, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. It all began with a single string of lights in my first home. I still remember that bare tree, mismatched ornaments, and the soft golden glow that filled the room. It wasn't much, but it sparked something inside me, a realization that Christmas decor isn't just about appearances. It's about creating a feeling of warmth and celebration. Back then, I believed more was better. Bright red ribbons, oversized ornaments, and glittery garlands filled my shopping cart. The result? Chaos. My decorations felt more cluttered than cheerful. It wasn't until I watched an old Christmas movie that everything clicked. The homes weren't extravagant. They were simple and meaningful, full of character and charm. That's when I realized I needed to stop chasing trends and focus on what mattered to me. I started thrifting and found vintage ornaments and rustic candle holders that added character. DIY projects became my favorite part. Garlands made from dried oranges and cinnamon sticks turned into personal touches no store-bought decor could match. Over time, my decorations evolved, reflecting not just the holiday spirit, but also my personality and values. Looking back, I see how far I've come. My journey wasn't about perfection. It was about learning, experimenting, and finding joy in the process. And in the end, isn't that what Christmas is all about? Have you ever walked into a holiday store and felt like you were in a winter wonderland? That's exactly how I felt the first time I truly paid attention to Christmas trends. But if I'm being honest, those dazzling displays were overwhelming. Every year brought a new style, rustic, modern, vintage, and I couldn't decide which direction to take. Each trend seemed magical, yet somehow out of reach. One year, I decided to start with rustic decor, and it completely changed the game. The cozy, earthy tones and natural textures felt like stepping into a cabin surrounded by snow-covered trees. Wooden ornaments, burlap ribbons, and plaid patterns brought a sense of warmth and nostalgia to my space. It was simple, yet so inviting. The following year, I did something unexpected. I embraced modern Christmas decor. I swapped the traditional reds and greens for sleek gold and white accents. Minimalist trees, clean lines, and understated ornaments transformed my home into something chic and elegant. It was outside my comfort zone, but I learned that bold choices often lead to beautiful outcomes. Then came my love for vintage Christmas decorations. I started thrifting for ornaments that had stood the test of time, each one with its own story. Delicate glass baubles, antique candle holders, and even old Santa figurines brought so much character to my space. These treasures blended effortlessly with both rustic and modern elements, adding depth to my decor. But the trend that truly captured my heart, DIY Christmas decor. There's something magical about crafting with your own hands. Stringing garlands from dried oranges, creating handmade wreaths, and painting ornaments made my decorations not just unique, but meaningful. These projects also became a way to connect with family and friends, turning the decorating process into a cherished tradition. Looking back, I've realized that trends are just tools to help you express your style. Whether it's rustic coziness, modern elegance, or vintage charm, the key is to make it your own. By blending styles and experimenting, I created a home that feels festive, personal, and timeless. And the best part? Every year, I get to refine and rediscover what makes my decor special. Have you ever looked around your home during the holidays and thought, this could feel so much more festive? That's exactly how I felt one December afternoon, staring at my living room. I had the basics, a tree, some lights, and a handful of ornaments, but something was missing. It wasn't until I started focusing on the details that I realized the power of intentional decorating. The first area I decided to transform was the mantel. For years, it had been an overlooked corner of my home, but this time I wanted it to stand out. I layered garlands across it, weaving in fairy lights, pine cones, and sprigs of berries to add texture and depth. Gold accents, like candlesticks and a brass reindeer, gave it a polished, festive look. When I stepped back to admire my work, the change was magical. What had once been a plain corner now radiated warmth and charm, setting the tone for the whole room. Next, I tackled the Christmas tree, the heart of any holiday decor. This time, I stepped away from the traditional bright reds and opted for rich jewel tones like emerald green, navy blue, and burgundy. I added velvet bows for a soft, luxurious touch and mixed in handmade ornaments crafted from dried orange slices and cinnamon sticks. The result? A tree that felt elegant yet personal, as if it had its own story to tell. But I didn't stop there. I began sprinkling festive touches throughout the house, focusing on areas that often get overlooked. The staircase became a centerpiece, draped with cascading garlands of greenery, twinkling lights, and pine cones. In the entryway, I hung a pre-lit wreath above a small console table and decorated it with rustic candle holders, miniature trees, and a letters to Santa mailbox that became a conversation starter for guests. Even the dining table got a festive upgrade. Instead of a traditional centerpiece, I used a garland as a runner, weaving it down the table and adding candlesticks, gold ornaments, and personalized name tags at each place setting. The table felt cozy, yet elegant, perfect for intimate holiday dinners with loved ones. And I didn't forget the kitchen. Small wreaths on cabinet doors, a bowl filled with sugared cranberries and pine cones, and festive hand towels added subtle but impactful touches. These little details tied the space together and made the entire home feel cohesive. As I worked on each space, I realized something important. Creating a festive home isn't about splurging on expensive decor. It's about creativity and attention to detail. By mixing DIY projects with store-bought pieces, I crafted a space that felt unique, welcoming, and full of heart. And the best part? Every corner of my home now told its own little holiday story. Have you ever made something with your own hands and felt that sense of pride and accomplishment? That's what DIY Christmas projects brought into my life. They didn't just make my decorations more personal. They turned the process into a holiday tradition I now look forward to every year. Let me share a few of my favorite projects and how they transformed my home into something truly special. It all started with a simple goal: to make homemade Christmas ornaments that would add a personal touch to my tree. My first project was drying orange slices. Their warm, golden tones brought a rustic charm, and the subtle citrus scent was a delightful bonus. I paired them with cinnamon stick ornaments tied with twine, adding a cozy, natural vibe to my tree. These simple pieces became a signature of my holiday decor. Next, I turned to garlands. Using faux greenery, berry picks, and leftover ribbons, I crafted garlands for the mantel and staircase. Adding velvet bows and glitter-dusted pine cones gave them a polished look, while weaving in fairy lights brought everything to life. The process was surprisingly simple, and seeing my handmade garlands light up my space filled me with so much joy. My favorite project, though, was making a wreath for my front door. I started with a plain wreath form and layered it with eucalyptus, cedar branches, and clusters of red berries. A deep burgundy velvet bow was the perfect finishing touch. Every time I looked at it, I felt a sense of accomplishment. It wasn't just a wreath, it was a reflection of my style and creativity. Another unexpected project was creating mason jar centerpieces. These tiny winter wonderlands filled with fake snow, miniature bottle brush trees, and fairy lights became the highlight of my dining table. They were affordable, fun to make, and sparked conversations at every holiday gathering.
Even the smallest DIY touches, like tying bows on lamps or creating small arrangements for side tables, added personality to my home. What I loved most about these projects wasn't just how they looked, it was the memories made along the way. Crafting while Christmas music played in the background or working on projects with family turned decorating into something deeply meaningful. DIY isn't just about saving money, it's about adding heart to your home. Every piece I made carried a story, a moment, and a little bit of love. And as I looked around my decorated home, I realized these weren't just decorations. They were memories, crafted with care and filled with holiday spirit. When everything was finally in place, I stepped back and took it all in. The soft twinkle of lights on the tree, the garland cascading over the mantel, and the wreath adorning the front door. All of it came together in a way that felt magical. For the first time, my home didn't just look festive, it felt festive. Every corner told a story, blending cherished traditions, thoughtful trends, and heartfelt personal touches. One of the most rewarding moments was seeing my family's reaction. The dining table, dressed with a greenery runner and glowing candles, became the heart of our holiday gatherings. Guests couldn't stop admiring the handmade touches, like the DIY ornaments, mason jar centerpieces, and garlands that brought the space to life. Watching their faces light up reminded me why I poured so much love into every detail. It wasn't just about decorating, it was about creating joy and connection. As I reflected on the process, I realized how much I'd learned along the way. One of the biggest lessons was that Christmas decorating doesn't have to cost a fortune. By embracing trends like rustic decor, exploring vintage treasures, and diving into DIY projects, I discovered affordable ways to create something truly special. Creativity and resourcefulness mattered far more than a big budget. Another lesson was the importance of intention. Instead of rushing into random decorations, I focused on building a cohesive look that reflected my personal style. Mixing textures like soft velvet ribbons with rustic pine cones or modern gold accents with natural greenery brought depth and balance to my decor. And I learned to let go of perfection. The quirks and imperfections in my handmade pieces added personality and warmth, making them some of my favorite elements. Most importantly, I learned that decorating for Christmas is about so much more than just appearances. It's about creating a home that feels welcoming, cozy, and filled with love. It's about the memories made along the way, crafting with family, laughing over missteps, and watching the house come alive with holiday cheer. That night, as I sat by the glow of the tree with a cup of cocoa in hand, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Every ornament, ribbon, and light had been chosen with care, and the result was a home that celebrated everything I love about the season. So, as you plan your holiday decor, remember this. It's not about chasing perfection or following every trend. It's about finding what brings you joy and making it your own. Take inspiration, get creative, and let your personality shine through. Because in the end, the best Christmas decor is the one that makes your home feel like a little slice of holiday magic.